Man, screw this video thumbnail. Alright, okay, in case you didn't know by now, despite uploading a new review each week, I generally tend to have these done well in advance. Not the case this time. At the time of recording, I have 2 days to quickly put this together before I'm away for a little while, and it's been over a month since I sat down to watch the previous story, The Chase. I've read a couple of really awesome Doctor Who books in that time, more on that later, and I've had plenty to distract myself with. Dying Light 2 was a great time, enjoyed it so much I got that 100%. Horizon Forbidden West is bland, generic, cliche, and I've barely progressed through it. Why am I telling you this in the entrance to this video? Well, I have a feeling I'm going to struggle to find much to talk about regarding this week's adventure. Got this one for Christmas last year. Thank you very much, Jude. The Time Meddler is a modest 4-part story from 1965 that acts as Season 2's final, although I hesitate to call it like a grand finale. Again, modest budget, so it's more of a low-key story this time. However, contrary to what you might be thinking, especially with what I said in the introduction, this is far from being another boring story like The Crusade. Thankfully. The writer apparently intended this to be like a blend of the show's two unique styles, which I feel they succeeded in. So you take a historical setting and then throw in a bit of sci-fi intrigue. And I'll say this now, while there's no grandiose set pieces or epic monologues, this simple story achieved what it set out to do, and as a result is a fairly adequate viewing experience. I swear I'm not trying to make that sound like a backhanded compliment. The story begins with a brief exchange between Vicky and the sorrowful Doctor, upset over losing Ian and Barbara so soon after Susan's departure, lamenting the fact that, as much as he grew to enjoy their company in the end, he always knew that they would seize the first opportunity they could to return home. They are interrupted, however, by the surprise reveal of Stephen, who, as I said last time, somehow managed to stow away on the TARDIS off-screen. And yes, his stuffed toy panda mascot is no worse for wear after being rescued from a burning tower. Oh, thank goodness. The TARDIS materialises on the shores of England in the year 1066, on the verge of a Viking invasion. We finally get some clarification on the workings of the TARDIS, at least in these early years. Apparently it really does just take them somewhere random each adventure. Looking back over the first 2 seasons, it makes sense now that I think about it, but they never made it obvious that it was randomised. Instead, the companions would often nag the Doctor for not taking them where they intended to be. Kind of like that television pitch. You know, different era every week. Kind of like the old series Time Tunnel. Only, you know, better. Of course, the show would go on to add more depth to the TARDIS, like broken chameleon circuits and the like, but for now I should probably stay on topic. Right from the start, we're introduced to this mysterious character skulking around with tools and equipment not of this time period. This is the meddling monk. A character I've been intrigued about for years because, spoiler alert, he's one of those fan-favourite elusive characters we don't know much about, much like the Valeyard from Colin Baker's era. Yes, that's right, the monk is basically a Time Lord. Or maybe he is, maybe he isn't, never really confirmed, but I mean, come on, it's obvious. The dude has a TARDIS. Both him and the Doctor confirm that they come from the same place, which we know now to be Gallifrey. I never understood how this could possibly be contested. I mean, come on, this isn't Supernatural where they take a pre-established awesome character and turn him into something way worse. I mean, that would be ridiculous, right? I mean, why would Doctor Who ever do that? Oh, gosh. Then again, you know, Ratchet and Clank fan over here. Is Angela a Lombax? Is she not a Lombax? I thought they were all wiped out. Yes. Don't overthink it. Now, okay, that is technically a fairly substantial spoiler, but although I don't think this is a bad time by any means, that revelation is pretty much the only thing you can take away from it. I definitely don't hate The Time Meddler. I just don't think it's an essential watch outside of a William Hartnell marathon. I mean, there's always something that makes it worth it, right? Like, there's a scuffle or two. So much for the improved fight choreography. Some genuinely nice character moments, like Stephen's brash nature and the fact that he doesn't immediately believe they've travelled through time, and Vicky pretty much taking the reins for the adventure. Not to mention the standout back and forth between the Doctor and the monk. You could argue that this is another boring episode like The Crusade, but I found this far less painful, and the stuff that was actually happening, you could tell it was eventually leading somewhere, not like The Crusade where it was just things happened and that was it. Sure, it was a bit slow, and for 3 episodes you were kind of left wondering where it was all going, but the 4th episode picked up a bit, and not to mention that great banter between the two Time Lords. The monk is quite the intellectual match for the Doctor, although rather than pure villainy like the Master, he's more of a chaotic nuisance. He ultimately wants good, but is just going way off the rails to accomplish it. Like, mate, nah, you can't be changing the timeline. You can't be messing with the old time-space continuum, alright? Not even the Doctor can do that. Unless he feels like it. He makes the rules. And that's pretty much all I've got to say about it. Another adequate set of episodes. Not too much to write home about, but it was painless and it didn't put me to sleep like some other serials have. And hey, if nothing else, we get to hear this iconic line from the Doctor.
Maybe? What do you mean, maybe? What do you think it is, a space helmet for a cow?
Oh, classic. I'm going to take a small break while I prepare for Season 3 because that is just full of missing episodes. Next in line, just in time for the recently released full-colour reconstruction, is Galaxy 4. However, in the meantime, I will be uploading my first ever book reviews. That's right, remember those Doctor Who books I said I was reading and really enjoying? Well, I've decided to turn them into video reviews too. I figure it'll shake things up a bit and give me a bit of practice, that's for sure, and who knows, they might actually turn out to be alright. Thank you heaps for watching. When I eventually get stuck into Season 3, I'll link the Galaxy 4 review right here in the usual spot, but in the meantime, why not check out my book review of The Stone Rose? I promise it's good. The book, that is. I don't know about my review. See you next time.